Welcome to the Skip Barber Challenge Trophy tonight on this Friday from Laguna, Seca. Of course, quite a perfect combination. If this track and car combination would be a drink, it would be my favorite. So let's see. We have about 16 drivers tonight on the track. So it will be action-packed with two races back to back, but with the full grid basically inverted in the end. Still time to join, so maybe one or another is getting home and is ready to race. We are now in the outlap for the qualifying. Of course, the who is who of the Skippy scene is here. And I'm ready for tonight. I did drive many officials the last couple of days when I had spare time. It was much fun. So let's have a look at Daniel Tufts going through the corkscrew. Oh, big lock up there. That won't help his chances to secure the front row. Let's see what Mr. Vondenbergen is doing. He is now going onto his first lap. So let's have a look on board with Gordon for lap number 1 in this qualifying. Time is short, of course, so every lap counts. Heading there, the red curb. It's okay. Doesn't help always. This was quite good for a first lap on cold tires. Let's take it to the outside on the curb, shift down, and back on the throttle as fast as you can. And again, running up to the kink. Oh yeah, quite good on the cold tires. I think Gordon will go for 35 in this qualifying, of course. Can he go even? Slight mistake there. Can he go even further down? I don't know. Oh, late shift. Something to learn here maybe for me. But always a struggle, the second to last corner. Now going round, taking all what he can on the outside to get on throttle. Maxime Grenon now with the first finish lap. And who is on pole? It's Gordon Vondenbergen at the moment. Followed by Brunschwiller, Geoff Randall and Maxime Grenon. So first laps are in. Paul Smithers now faster. He was also faster than me in the officials. So this week I can at least speak about driving some officials. It was more like one official for the last couple of weeks. This time it's like, I don't know, already 8 or 10, something about around that. So this time I'm knowing about what I speak. A little bit, at least. So Brunschwiller, 4/10 away. Yeah. Seems to be it. And Gordon Vondenbergen now quickly going back. Patrick Autoricki, on the other hand, is now running to the kink. 1:37.229 at the moment. So welcome back everyone who does not have his Prime sub gifted to this account. And let's change the tower to best lap so you have the better overview about the lap times. Adam Miles, 1:43.625. Should have been a big mistake there, which took him in this position. Neil Gardner now with the fastest lap, 36.3 on his first. Basically, I was happy I had a 36.1 or 2 at a second lap. So, yeah, quite impressive. 3 laps they can do here. And Rody van der Maiden now in P1 by 8 thousandths of a second in front of Neil Gardner. Very good. And also faster than Smithers and Wunschwiller. Gordon Vandenberg now in P5, Maxime Gren on P6. Jeff Randall down to P8. Then Schuring in P9 and Clark Williams in P10. So let's see who can shovel the board here a little to get some more places out of this. Adam Miles is fastest, 1:35.8. Yeah, that's a very, very decent qualifying lap on the second try. I saw that by Benny Simonson. Yeah, that's it. Basically, on a second lap here at Laguna Seca. I always tried for that. Never could do it to get into the 35s on the second lap in an official race. So Rody down to P4, going over the line. Improvement, yes or no? Huh. Nope. Improvement for himself, but staying in P5. Because Gordon Vandenberg was a little bit faster. Adam Miles still running. Did they forget they can do... I don't know. Did they forget they can do 3 laps? Ha! I don't know. Some already stopped. Adam Miles going another lap. Lap 3. Oh, they already finished. There would have been lap 4. I see. Oh, that could be off tracky, so this doesn't count. But Adam Miles takes pole with a 1:35.806 in front of Paul Smithers with a 1:35.871. That's yeah, impressive qualifying going into the 35s. Very, very decent indeed. Anyone still running? Chris Wayne maybe? Yeah, Chris Wayne is still running. Down a corkscrew. Here he comes. Trying to improve his lap at the back of the field. But he has the car number 69, so let's hope for the best. To place this iconic number further up the ranks. It's half a second faster than his average. That did look smooth. And where he did end up, same place, but closed the gap a little to the man in front, Daniel Tufts. Yeah, will be a tough race, and as we have just 15 drivers now, somebody left, we are inverting the whole grid for the second race, so this will be quite interesting later on, but also the first race will produce enough action, that's for sure. Let's put it back on gaps for the tower. Driver info's off. And we are soon ready to go in 30 seconds for our first race of the evening. 2 races back to back, top 15 inverted in the second race. So this should be a very good opportunity to snatch some points here in the championship. Yeah, not taking autographs here from Adam Miles, Neil Gardner, Gordon von den Bergen, and all the others being here ready for the race. Grid is filling. Everyone is getting now into position for the big start of the Skip Barber Challenge Trophy here tonight. So let's have a quick look, but you can also see it on the left side. Adam Miles in pole, Paul Smithers in P2, Neil Gardner P3, Gordon von den Bergen in P4, Rody van der Maiden in P5, Patrick Autoricki P6, P7 Jeff Randall, Marcel Brunschwiller in P8, Clark Williams P9, Ryan Jackson P10, Maxime Grenon in P11, Dan Turing in P12, Anders Nielsen P13, Daniel Tuff P14, and Chris Wayne starting in P15. So that's our gridding here today at the Skip Barber Challenge Trophy. So soon ready to roll. Who's missing? At the front, of course. Keeping the tire warmers on. As we would have some. So just Adam was missing. Now it's Rody and Clark. Still in the pits. Maybe, I don't know, turning on crew chief. Having a drink. And we're ready to race.
Green flag, green flag.
Oh, somebody moved at the back of the field quite early. At least it looked like it. And Adam Miles leads the field away down the hill into the Andretti hairpin, it's called, I think. And through turn 3 now, the whole field is going, yeah, exceptionally safe again. On board with Maxime Grenon here down in P11. Lost some positions in the openings, 2 corners. Also in the back there is some trouble ahead, but let's hope nobody spins in the kink, because it would be super dangerous. But everyone moves through, up the hill, and now down the corkscrew. Adam Miles, the first one going down there. And here they come. And this passage is so great, but so tricky on the cold tires. Where's Brunschwiller? There he is. Oh, somebody's going into the pits. And I thought I saw it, and it is Daniel Tuffs, I think. Yes, it is Daniel Tuff going into the pits after a false start here. Let's hop back to the front runners. Adam Miles, Paul Smithers, duking it out. Who will win this race? The draft is pretty strong here, of course. If you can manage the corners, you can stick even with a, yeah, far more faster guy. It's all about centimeters. It's all about using the track here in the first sector as far as you can, but don't overdrive the car. Do not catch much of the dirt here. But we know visors will be torn now with the dirt coming up. And also this is very dangerous to dip one wheel into the dirt, or even one wheel on the corner of the curb. Jeff Randall through the inside of Patrick Autoricki. And here's Maxime Grenon still in P11. And Anders Nielsen also stopped in the pits. Let's see if I find something. No, basically not. So something happened. Of course, Daniel Tufts did have the false start, moved too early. But maybe also Anders Nielsen could be possible. Smithhurst, of course, with the fastest lap, he's in the draft of Adam. And here, what a package this is. Let's take a look on board with Mr. Ryan Jackson. Oh, that was quite tricky. Losing some ground here, and not only ground, through the inside. Now that's difficult. That's pretty difficult now for the kink. The run onto the kink. But Ryan Jackson got it, and in the back somebody got pushed out. Maxime Grenon got pushed out wide. Let's have a look in the replay. Into the chopper. And it's difficult for Maxime, and yeah, that doesn't work. Simple as that. He was on the outside, can't turn in because the car is placed pretty, yeah, alongside of him. So yeah, you can go too wide there, but you have to give each other room or lift, but that didn't happen, so it didn't work out. Gordon Vonenbergen, followed by Rody van der Meijden here in P5. There is, there we are on board. So these five still in contention for the podium. But also Geoff Randall is closing in from behind. Here you can see it. He is also taking a whole draft park with him. It's all now managing the lap time, get faster and faster as the tires get warmer and warmer, but make no mistakes. Mistakes will again be super costly. Oh, and we have a position switch here at the front. Neil Gardner goes around the outside of Paul. Paul has problems, but he catched the suspension in the right moment. I had also these problems, like if it started to, yeah, the suspension started to work against me, it's pretty hard to catch it in the way you're confident enough for the next corner in these couple of seconds. Now Vonenberg on the tail of Smithhurst. What's going on in the back? Oh, picking up some dirt again. Ryan Jackson in P9 behind Marcel Brunschwiller in P8. Everyone dips a little bit in the dirt section here. But this ain't autocross, this is the Skip Barber Challenge Trophy. And Neil Gardner now running up the hill with Gordon and Paul behind him. We're to 50, 60 and braking zone. Going down the corkscrew. Going down to first gear, then heading second gear when you hit the bottom. Then powering through these beautiful corners. And Paul Smithers already watching if he can catch Neil Gardner now. Over the straight. With the draft on the brakes. Through the inside maybe. He's opening up the corner. And Paul isn't trying anything from so far behind, but slight lock up by Neil. Yeah, if you want too much here, it is getting dangerous. And here we go. It's Ryan Jackson making his move on Brunschwiller, and he's doing it. Waited for Brunschwiller to go to the outside, and also here in the back, Clark Williams through with the attack on Dan Schuring. Back to the live pictures because they're still battling here. Clark Williams in P11. Oh, Rowdy is going rowdy again. Going wide here. And now down the corkscrew. Everyone is locking up a little bit through this section. Also because of you don't want to, yeah, hit your opponent in the back. It's like, yeah, I mean, not every corner is the same. The corkscrew is quite special, but it's, yeah, it's a shame if you hit somebody in the back there because you know it's a heartbreaking zone down to first gear. That's not what anyone wants or expects at this level of racing. Again, Neil Gardner, the view to the back. And Adam is escaping the pack little by little. 1.1 is the gap. 1.2 now even. And maximizing the track there on the outside. Keeping his corner speeds way up. Oh, sorry. On board with Paul. No, he's lifting there, not risking it all. Because it's still a long race, 19 minutes to go. So much that can happen. It's a couple of minutes longer than an official race. Official race is 15 laps. We're now in lap 7 of 19. Here comes a big attack. Maybe, nope. Patrick Autoricki, Marcel Brunschwiller behind him, and Ryan Jackson in front of him. 3 drivers trying to outsmart each other while keeping the car on track. Front, Jeff Randall here at P6. Created a little bit of a gap, but can't catch the guys in front. But Neil Gardner lost now the draft completely. 1.5 the gap to Adam Miles in front. And now into the cockpit of Rowdy again. So he can close the gap here again. At least a little bit. Lifting here. For my taste could be a little bit earlier on the throttle. But this looks quite stable. And being stable here on this track is also a huge factor. It's all sand around. So hitting that doesn't end good, mostly. A little bit deep by Marcel. Compromises his exit speed. But he's still well good in the draft, so little mistakes. You can what's the word? For little mistakes, there's the draft. To compensate. Sorry. And now with Gordon through the corkscrew. Yes, that's correct. Good evening, Kyle. Just saw it now. 2 times 30 minutes. And it's reversed top 15, which means the whole grid will be inverted, of course. So Gordon now on his way to the final corner with Paul Smithers in front of him. Still holding on to this P4, but he's striving for more. He wants a podium. And the gap to the car behind, Roddy van der Meijden, is widening, so could be a podium in possible range for Gordon Vandenberg. And now back to this battle here. Ryan Jackson behind Jeff Randall. Battle for P6. But of course, it's not only the battle for P6. Because Patrick Autoricki and Marcel Brunschwiller are directly behind him to catch his position if he makes any mistake. Now they're getting closer and closer. Splitting up a little into 2 cars in battle. Yeah, but the draft will bring them back together, of course. So at the front, Adam Miles after 11 laps. Or after 10 laps, we are now in lap 11. Adam Miles leads the field with 1.5 of a gap in front of Neil Gardner. There he is. Paul Smithers behind him in P3, Gordon Vandenberg in P4. Roddy van der Meijden in P5, P6, Jeff Randall, Ryan Jackson in P7, Patrick Autoricki in P8, P9, Marcel Brunschwiller, Dan Schüring in P10. Maxime Grenon still in P11, but he's trying to go for the top 10. Clark Williams in 12, Chris Wade in 13, and Anders Nielsen in 14 and 15. Daniel Tough after his stop in the pits. So is here something going on? Yes, Marcel Brunschwiller now in front of Patrick Autoricki. So battle is spicing up. Brunschwiller now in P8, trying to close the gap again to Ryan Jackson, who is here in front in P7. It's a gap of 0.7, so you can still get a little bit of draft, but you shouldn't fall further behind, of course. In the front, Paul Smithers behind Neil Gardner. Gordon Vandenberg is struggling to keep the draft, but used, of course, T1 to get back. And Maxime Gredon finally did it. Overtook Dan Schuring and is now in the top 10. Right, Jackson. Created a little bit. Still has the gap. Let's say it that way. Still has the gap of 0.6, 0.7 roundabout. But Marcel did a good run through the kink and closed down the gap by 2/10 alone through the kink. Very good. And Paul Smithers still on the hunt. Not for Red October, but for Neil Gardner. Gordon with the fastest lap. Now, of course, has to take a good look. Driving behind two cars so close can, yeah, produce accidents. So battle groups all down the field. And basically the field isn't so far outstretched, the top 10 by 10 seconds. So if anything happens in the front, they will gain a lot of positions. Jeff Randall under pressure, but he still has now Rody van der Meij in front of him with 0.5. Now back in the draft, Jeff Randall should be on the attack mode now, and while Paul Smithers took a look, he can get in front of Neil Gardner. There he is. So positions didn't change. Oh, what is going on here? Where's Dan? There he is. Okay. Okay. Let's have a look back. What did happen? Going a little bit wide. Oh, he just vanished. That was the thing I saw in the tower. It was just him vanishing. Let's hop aboard with Ryan Jackson down the corkscrew behind Jeff Randall and Rody van der Meij. Didn't know he just blipped out. Thought he lost or switched the position in the back. Now Ryan Jackson is all over the back of Jeff Randall. I think if Jeff isn't making the move, Ryan is doing it for him. Here he comes, side by side, watch for the cones. They will damage the front wing of the Skippy pretty good. Now cleared the car of Rody. Was so long in P5, but now lost 2 positions in the first 3 corners. But in the end also they are showing what you can do with respect for each other on the track. A little mistake there by Adam. Would it hit the last corner? Not quite good. And now Neil's back in the draft. At least in the draft area. And if Paul knows that, he will leave him in peace. Drive through the corner and maybe get the gap down to 0.8. So Adam was quite clear of them, but with that little mistake, gave them half a second. That's the opportunity now. Oh, there in the back, there's something going on. Let's have a look. So Jeff, Ryan, and here comes Rody and Marcel. Marcel also seeing this little mistake by Rody. So just a handful of laps to go. The gap in front stayed the same, Adam Miles 1 second away from Neil Gardner and Paul Smithhurst. Oh, what do we have here? Jeff Randall and Ryan Jackson side by side. Ryan Jackson on the inside. Worked out up to this point. Let's have a look from the chopper. And this is an opportunity for Rody, but he's now on the wrong side of the track. And here comes Marcel through the inside. And now they are going up the hill to the kink. Oof. Car on the outside, Ryan Jackson can't turn in. But they made it without contact. It was super tight, super close, but made it without contact. And now, misbrake. And Rody goes through. Brilliant move. Anticipated here quite correctly what will happen and made his move. And overtook in the corkscrew Ryan Jackson. But as you can see, that's just this little battle, and they're all back at it again. Trying to get into position for an attack. And the race is on. The race is on. Rody van der Meijden misjudges his brakes. And Ryan Jackson through again in P6. But leads now a whole group of cars in the last 2 laps. 2 minutes to go. Oh, there comes the attack. Maybe the corkscrew. Ooh, that's tough. That's tough. And do we have a 3 wide now? Ah, 2.5 it was. But they're trying to slot into their positions and keep the race going. Not dying here at the corkscrew. Being the next victim to this infamous corner. A combination of corners. And now it's getting a little bit wild. Let's go into the last final lap of race number 1. Battle still heated. So it is at the front. Paul is still trying desperately to get around Neil. But he can't get it done up to this point. Then there's a 4.8 second gap to Gordon. 2 seconds to Jeff. And here they come. You can see it. You can nearly smell it. Everyone is trying to get positions in the final lap of this race. Oh, and there's a crash on the last lap. It's the first time cars are crashing here. And it's Maxime Grenon. Let's have a replay of this situation here. Get to the chopper. What did happen? Oh, yeah. Ooh, that's not so good. But at least he can continue to wrap up this race. So let's hop here. Nothing seems to happen here. What is in the front? Adam Miles goes over the line, wins the first race. Neil Gardner 1 second behind. He could keep Paul Smithhurst at bay in P3. Gordon in P5. Jeff Randall P4. Jeff Randall in P5. Ryan Jackson P6. And Marcel Brunschwiller in P7. Patrick Autoricki in P8. Rody van der Meijden in P9. P10. Clark Williams. Dan Schuring. I think he dropped down a couple of positions, so maybe he got the inks full in the end. Could be. And Chris Wade goes over the line in P14. Anders Nielsen finishes last in this race and is not happy about it. So race 1 is done. So that gives me the opportunity to spin the wheel, I would say. We have 5 minutes of warm-up, or let's call it cool-down time. And it gives the opportunity to roll the dice on the next race. So let's see if it works again on stream. Where's the wheel? There's the wheel. No, there's the wheel not. That was my Twitch. Ah, there's the wheel. Okay. Here we go. There's the wheel. The good old spinner. So let's have it. Let's have to spin the wheel. Let's go. And it is excluded format number 3, of course. The format of today. And it's number 1, format number 1 for next week's race, of course. So that has been cleared by now. Format number 1 it is for next week. So what do we have? Just 2 minutes to go, 3 minutes to go. Let's have a look into the... Oh! I saw this question too late by Jeff. He asked if I could race and commentate at the same time. Yeah, maybe I could have done it, but I'm sorry, I saw it just now. He asked me on the Discord. It would have been great, of course. I love this track so much in this combination. As I said, it would be my favorite drink if it would be a drink. Let's check. I always forget to take a look at the formats. So here we go. Format number 1 is quali, race 1, race 2. You start where you finish the race in race 2. That's basically it. 2 races, but no reverse. You start where you finished in the second race. So should be a good one. So let's get me a little drinking break and then we are back with the second race. See you in a minute. So, back after my little drinking break with the gridding for race number 2. Of course, all positions are inverted for this race, so Adam Miles will start from the back. And Anders Nielsen, no, Chris Wayne is starting in front, sorry. Anders Nielsen in P2. So Chris Wayne, the man who brings us the Skip Barber Challenge Trophy in this season, will start from the front row, from pole, in the second race of the evening. Let's go! Having a good start. Here comes already Anders Nielsen, tries to make his move around the outside maybe in T2. But has to go wide. And Chris Wayne is clear. Now clear air. Gordon Vondenbergen here in the middle of the pack. Trying to make a move through the inside. Bouncing over the red curb. And Anders Nielsen now in trouble. Losing more and more positions. And is spinning! But nobody hits him. At least nobody did hit him. Let's take a quick look. Yeah. He had to evade the cars in front, of course. But now racing again. Let's take a look at the front. Daniel Tuff in P3. Right behind Rody van der Meijden and Chris Wayne. Chris Wayne leads the field away. Created some kind of gap there. And now it's the opportunity for... no. I thought for Daniel to go around Rody's car. Oh, cars are moving. Cars are driving into the pits. Who's driving into the pits? It's Gordon Vondenbergen. Oh my god. Also a false start by him, it seems. Where's Bunschwiller? He's still going. But there were more cars in the pits. Oh, also Jeff Randall. Jeff Randall in the pits. And now continuing the race. What a shame. But there's still a race to go. So maybe they can catch up. We don't have a safety car, so that can't be a solution for Gordon and Jeff. And Clark and Patrick Autoricki. Again, too wide there in the front also. And they're not making it. Not making it. And nearly the catch, but Dan Schuring goes directly into the barriers. Here again from his view. Oh! What a weird accident in the end. And then he's down and out. Let's have a look again. This was all... Yeah, there was... That nearly looked intentional. I don't know. Because why should he steer to the right? But I'm not the one to judge anything here. Which is good for me. And now it's the attack by Rody. Yeah, being too wide there in the car. Oh no. Huge slowdown also for Clark. Let's take a look what happened exactly there. Into the chopper, going too wide. Couldn't say he lost his rear, but yeah, it didn't work out. I don't know how much the slowdown is. If you miss completely the corner and go left of the cone. But let's see, because the lead is now in the hands of Rody van der Meijden, and Daniel Tuff is trying to chase down Chris Wayne. He's still on the inside. No, maybe a little bit. And then now are going too wide into the corkscrew. Chris can slot in, but far better exit and drive through the kink. The kink it is. And onto the corkscrew now. Oh, and who comes from behind there? What a stoppage of the car. Did leave it flow into the corkscrew braking zone. Maxime Grenon, pretty good. Looked quite great. Maybe we can see what happened to Job. Or is it just the drive-through? It's on lap 2. corkscrew. Oh! And not only did he have to drive through the pits at the end of the first lap, he also had a little moment in the corkscrew, but he's still going. Now back to the live pictures. But of course far, far behind. Maxime now in P3. Seeing the carnage in front. Putting up some dust here onto the track. Now it's the turn of Paul Smithers. He's now on the attack of Chris Wayne. And that should seal the deal for this position. But not so much in the back here. Adam Miles goes through. Clark Williams. Clark Williams now in P10. Adam. Oh, did go around. How did he do it? Through the inside. And Marcel did leave him, yeah, all the space he needed to make it as fast as possible through this corner. Now already down the corkscrew. Here we go. Also, Maxime Grenon did take P2 from Rody. Rody with some problems, it seems. Maybe he got a slowdown. Because it's quite tricky to get that. Yeah, get rid of it. Ryan Jackson with the attack. Can't make it done. Auto-Ricky behind him. Then comes Adam Miles. So now on board with Auto-Ricky. In front cars. And of course, right behind him, a couple of cars. Yeah, and there was a good run from Adam Miles. Clearing this position and is now up to P7. Super close. Impressive driving skills here. In every braking zone, it's so close to hit your opponent. These are not GT cars, these are skippies. And I think Daniel Tars takes the lead. Takes the lead again because he's under pressure by Maxime. What do we have here? 3 wide into turn 2. Slight banging of wheels, I guess. But Rody now in the better position, but gives up the position to Ryan Jackson. And Adam again in his favorite overtaking spot so far. Takes another position. Now up to P6. Oh, going a little bit wide there. But it all looks good for everyone at the moment, especially for the 3 cars here in front. Daniel Tuffs leads the race in front of Maxime Grenon and Paul Smithers. Uh-oh, and I heard a bad noise, and there you see a big pile-up in the back. Chris Wayne, Brunschwiller, and Ryan Jackson, and they all are get going again. Nearly 3 wide again. Aye. Let's see what happened in that situation. So Ryan Jackson on the right. Inside Chris Wayne. Making contact. Oh, also collecting Adam Miles. Cars trying to get around, and then, Marcel Brunschwiller did caught up in this accident. And now they're going again. Oh, up the corkscrew. And Brunschwiller goes through. Having the inside line onto the corkscrew. Onto the kink, and now into the corkscrew. Was this now 3 times I did that? And it's Friday again. Happens. So opportunity for Paul. Close in on Daniel, while Maxime is now in the lead again in lap 9 of 19. What do we have here? Ryan Jackson and Marcel Brunschwiller trading positions. Here's Gordon behind him. Chris Wayne. Jeff Randall is also a little bit closing in after his bad first lap. Anders Nielsen also still running. Oh, what do we have here? Let's go again into the kink. Yeah, and this works. If you want it, you can do it. Oh no! Slight wobble there. Now is he backing out? No, he isn't. He isn't. Patrick Autoricki keeps the position, but not loses one to Neil Gardner. And in the end, in the front, it's still super tight. Daniel Tubbs leads the race again in front of Maxime. But here he is coming. While Rody van der Meijden is making the fastest lap, of course. And again, Ryan Jackson this time makes the move and is clear of Brunschwiller. But it's now a 5-second gap to the cars in front in P8, Neil Gardner. Might take a while, and it's... yeah, Smithers in front of Tufts now. But the overtaking maneuver in the corner of Adam Miles' most overtakes took a little time off. But in the end, Maxime makes a mistake in the corkscrew and loses out 3-4 tenths maybe. So all what he gained by the cars battling behind him is lost again. And also Adam Miles is closing in. And we have still a couple of laps to go. So basically this is halftime. Or just over halftime. And yeah, he can do it to close this gap to the leaders. Rody van der Meyden behind Adam Miles with the fastest lap. 1:35.7. Oh, and here is something going on again. Here they are again. This time it's Brunschwiller again in front of Ryan Jackson. Took the position of Jackson in the second corner. Schwiller into the corkscrew, down the hill, powering through. Looks quite good, but of course Ryan Jackson is still right behind him. And these are Neil Gardner and in front Clark Williams, 6. And Smithers with the fastest lap, and he's now right at the back of Maxime. Maxime with a little mistake. And Paul takes the lead. While Ryan Jackson is taking the position back from Brunschwiller, they will trade again. Maybe also in the next lap. So Smithers in the lead now. But of course Maxime Renon will try to have a look for the win. But not this way. Also Tufts with problems. So just both left a little bit of time in the kink. And Neil Gardner now still on the run for the position of Clark Williams. Oh, it get back on the throttle again. Got a little bit close, but Neil Gardner has it done. Interesting technique, braking and then get onto the throttle to make the overtake. So Paul Smithers in the lead, but closely followed by Maxime and Daniel. And Also, Adam Miles is coming closer and closer. So 0.8, 0.9 is now the gap. Maybe he can get close enough. Daniel Tuff's fastest lap 1:35.241. But Tufts can't do it. Can't do it here. Just doesn't work. But Clark Williams maybe. Still pushing in the draft of Neil. So maybe he can get the position back now. The good run through the draft. And if the inside is open, but he decides for the outside. On the brakes. Nothing possible for him here. And now we are on board with Adam Miles. And he closed the gap, is now right behind the podium drivers. Very, very close through all the corners. Oh, and Jeff Randall is now passing Chris Wayne, or maybe not. A big duel between the teammates. And in the end, Jeff Randall takes the position. But of course, Chris Wade now, maybe with a good run. But no, of course, he stays behind. But here, yep, Adam's favorite overtaking spot. Got ahead of Daniel Tufts. Took a little bit of time to the front runners, to Paul Smithers and Maxime. But as you can see in the braking zone for the corkscrew, he just flies through there, keeping up his cornering speed. Yet, indeed it is. Kitty Cat does. It is a close race for the podium with these 4 drivers: Daniel Tufts, Adam Miles, Maxime Grenon, and Paul Smithers in the lead. And if anything happens, there's Rody van der Meijden and Neil Gardner behind them to, collect them if they would crash. So no room for mistakes. And here's Gordon Vondenbergen and Marcel Brunschwiller. And Ryan Jackson, he is gone now, escaped the grips of Marcel, who's now directly behind Gordon. So the 2 German drivers together on the track. We are going into the corkscrew. Adam Miles did take a look at Maxime, and Maxime needs the draft desperately to maintain his 2nd position. But of course we know where Adam Miles' favorite opportunity is to overtake. Oh, slide. Wheel banging, Adam Miles on the outside. Oh, do we have a 3 wide? Into turn 4. Ay. What a battle this is. And here comes Adam Miles. Pushing through again, now in P3. But they changed the positions. Daniel Tufts and Maxime Grenon. Daniel Tufts now in P2. So who will it be? It seems that Paul Smithers is quite clear, and here comes Adam Miles, because he knows if he wants to try to catch Paul, he has to act fast. And in the back, Neil Gardner and Clark Williams still in the battle for P6. And Clark Williams defends his P6 once more. Corner by corner. Side by side, and here comes Clark again. And loses, no. Oh, Clark now in front again. Too wide into the kink, and it worked again. Sorry. And Neil stays ahead. What's going on in the front on the final lap? Paul Smithers, of course, is leading by 1.4 seconds. Adam Miles in P2, Daniel Tufts in P3. Having a moment there. Is that the opportunity for Maxime to get onto the podium step? Maybe it was, but he didn't. Oh, slight contact there. Who's going over the line first? It is Daniel Tufts. With a half of a car length. Brody van der Maiden in P5. Neil Gardner in P6. Clark Williams P7. Patrick Autoricky P8. P9. Ryan Jackson. Here he comes. Gordon von den Bergen is in P10 in front of Marcel Brunschwiller. Close finish. If we take a look at this. Yeah. Wasn't so close as the one before, but P10 goes to Gordon von den Bergen. Then we have Jeff Randall coming around the last corner, taking P12. P13 goes to Anders Nielsen. He also finished the race. And so did Chris Wayne, already finished. And happy that this is over, I guess. Wasn't the day of Chris Wayne, but the day of Paul Smithers in the second race. So congratulations, of course, for this performance. So quick break, then we have the interviews. So let's have our interview with Adam Miles. Good evening, Adam.
Good evening.
So what a race for the second one. You battled, yeah, the gaps down. You saw maybe how they battle in the front and yeah, then seized the opportunity.
Yeah, I a little bit disappointed. I should have probably got there sooner. I didn't quite leave myself enough time to get past three people in the space of about 3 laps really. So it's a little bit unlucky at the end. I was just making the move on, I think, Max, and just turned into turn. I guess it's turn 4,
Yeah.
and got the 3 wide call suddenly. I was like, oh, hang on,
Yeah.
I've started turning in now, so had to turn back out of that one and ended up back down in fourth again, which just gave Paul enough time to scamper away. But no, it was good fun.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, you had the that was the last corner. You dived through with 2 laps to go, maybe with the
Mm.
intention like, okay, if I don't do it now, it can't happen anymore to catch Paul. But in the end, yeah, the full, let's call it the full grid inverted, yeah,
Mm.
wasn't for you tonight.
No, but it was really good fun. I tried to. I was probably a bit too cautious in the early going. I mean, it's 30-minute race is a good time, and no one seemed to get too far ahead. But there was an accident in and around the left hander, I think, in turn 5, and I didn't know where the car was going, so I ended up having
Mm,
to almost come to a stop there, which set me back, in terms of going forwards. But yeah, I mean, it was good otherwise. Unfortunate incident with Chris down in turn one. I did wonder whether I was going to pick up some damage from that, but I think the car was fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just looked like Chris just clipped the car in front, which sort of sent him very slow, and I
Yeah.
ended up turning him around. So that was a shame. And but other than that, yeah, just lacking a little bit of pace here. But first and second's not too bad.
No, not at all. And yeah, with these positions, I guess you take the crown tonight because
Hmm.
who else can? I mean, if you have P1 and P2,
Right,
because
right, yes, at this round.
because your opponents didn't equal that. So yeah,
That's
yeah,
true.
I think as I said on stream, like if this car and track combination would be a drink, it would be my favorite go-to.
Ah.
How is it for you?
I do enjoy it. Yeah. I'm not sure I've got the best speed through the corkscrew, but then I
Hmm.
don't think any line through the corkscrew feels perfect. I don't know. Sometimes I try it in first, sometimes I do it in second, and then penultimate corner. Sometimes I do it in third, sometimes I do it in fourth. I don't quite have what I'd call a rhythm here, but
Hmm.
pace is certainly good enough to hang on to with the best of them.
Yeah, true, true, true. Yeah, so I would say have a good night then, and we
Yep,
see us on Sunday for the super split, of course.
indeed.
And I hope you, yeah, get some more rhythm. I think rhythm is quite important for the way down the corkscrew and the last three corners.
Hmm.
So maybe you
Yep.
find that, and yeah, let's see who will show up on Sunday. Maybe Benny, maybe Dennis. I don't know. Let's see.
Yeah. We had Christian Perez in the Iberian soft race as well, so he must like
Oof.
the track as well. So could be a good crowd.
Will be good. Let's see you
Yep.
on Sunday. Good night.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye. And our second interview guest for tonight, and last but not least, is Gordon Vonenberg. Good evening.
Howdy. Hey.
Howdy. This is California, Laguna Seca. It's not howdy.
Okay, then good evening.
Good evening.
May- Maybe that is better.
I don't know. How was your race? I think this first one was quite better than the second.
Yeah, the first one wasn't too bad, but I had to save a lot of fuel, so it was a draft fest for me. So yeah, in the end, I ended with zero point 0.2 liters in my tank, so that was quite close
Oh,
to not one lap more. So
yeah,
I had
true.
to save more fuel in the last couple laps, last 2 or 3 laps. So I let them go, and yeah, the second race, I don't know. Jeff and I started at the same time, but the race didn't want to start at this time. So we had both a jump start and had to pit, and after that it was gone. And yeah, in the end, with Marcel, it was a nice fight. I think he had a slowdown because he slowed down a lot. So yeah, I think it was a nice fight because he was behind Ryan all the time, and yeah, I don't know why he slowed down, but I think he had a off track or something like that. So
Hmm.
in the end, we had a nice fight, and it was really close. But it's yeah, it is okay.
Yeah, it's
It,
it's also astonishing that in the first race we had early starters who had to go to the pits, and
oh,
also in the second race. So, I mean,
didn't
there was
notice that in the first race.
yeah, it was in the far back of the grid, but as also was discussed in the Skippy Discord, something about like yeah the latency, the ping of the cars, and when the starting lights are be shown to every
Ah,
driver,
okay,
and
okay.
if the graphics are shown, if that is really the same time, the server says okay, it's time to go now. So
Hmm.
maybe you remember maybe also times like when you thought you have an early start, but it was fine and you get no
Yep,
penalty, but you think like, okay, there was still the
that was
red light
great.
on. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
but you know what I mean. Like
yeah. But
maybe there's
today it
still
didn't work
issues.
for us.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Today it didn't
today it
work.
won't work.
Ah
Yeah,
well, but it's a good training for Sunday for the super split and also for the Skippy Cup on Monday.
yeah.
So yeah, took
I will
some
try both.
experiences. Yes, yes, of course. I hope so. I hope so.
Hopefully. Yeah,
I mean it will be packed at Laguna Seca, I think. It could be 3 splits maybe even on Sunday yeah, it's what is it? It's not high noon, but you know what I mean.
yeah.
In the middle of
I will.
Sunday morning, so maybe let's
I
see.
think I will end in the last split. It doesn't matter what time it is.
Okay. Yeah, Gordon,
Yeah.
have a good night then. And
Okay.
yeah,
Thank you
let's
very
see
much.
us on Sunday or Monday. And yeah, back for an interview then. Have a good
Okay.
night.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. So that's it. Thank you for Dystopia LP for the Prime sub. Thank you very, very much. And of course for the follows, Todo Terreno, and of course also Dystopia LP for the follow. We will see us next time, as I said, on Sunday for the super split. And now we have a little raid, and then we are out here. So yeah, have a nice evening. Goodbye here from the Skip Barber Challenge Trophy. Auf Wiedersehen.